welcome back to the channel. I'm going to show you something outside now for our second day of ownership of it. Behind me is, as you well know, all the solar and the batteries. There you go. That helps fuel up the next thing I've bought. Number 2 in the family, and it belongs to the good lady wife. You saw it yesterday, so let's go and have a quick look at it, a bit more detailed. And there you go. The Ora 03. Now I'm not going to call it a funky cat or a good cat or whatever you want to badge it as. See the colour difference there on the green and blue? Aqua green, I think it's called. But in the sun, it's even bigger. You can see the green and the blue and the blue and the green. Brilliant colour. The best colour that these come in, to be fair. So let me just pan back a little here. It's on the angle, as you can see on the drive. Now, when we went to view this at availablecar.com, okay, calm down, I'll get there in the end. There was a fair few things that we didn't like for the price. So they were very, very good and told us they were going to do this, that and the other. And 100% they kept their word. In fact, they went even better. There was something that's been done to the car that we didn't expect. And when they said they were going to put it needs new pads on the rear, which is quite shocking really for 11,000 miles, which is a bit weird to me on an EV, because normally the brakes last ages. So whoever owned this last was very, very heavy on the brakes. It was a lady in Scotland, I believe. So not only did they put on new pads, which I thought that's all they were going to do, brand new disc rotors, both sides of course, bonus. So let's figure some costs out here, folks. Disc rotors, pair, fitted, pads, full set rear, fitted. You go into any garage now, anywhere in your local town, village or whatever, and try and get them done. That's going to hold you back around 250 to 300 quid in parts and labour. Now if there's a garage that's watching this and say that they can do it any less, well, drop a note below, because you'll get some custom. Wouldn't surprise me if some people charge $450 for that job by the time you put your VAT on. Let's move on. Now the other thing they said they were going to do was tyres. There were 2 tyres they weren't very happy about, and to be honest, I hadn't noticed them when I looked round it. Crow's still having a go at me. So instead of just putting cheap Chinese tyres on, you know, non-branded, which personally, if I owned a garage and I was selling a car, that's all I'd do. They went and put on these Bridgestones, 2 brand new Turanzas. Unbelievable. So they kept their word 110%, if there's such a thing. So well done again to Available Car. Sorry, Available Car, I took your sticker straight off when I got home for obvious reasons. There you go. Alloys, something else that they said they were going to do and they've done. There was a few major grazes on here. You can see where they've buffed out. You can just still see a tiny bit, but oh no, you can't, it's coming off a lot. There was a few real bad grazes on one, and on another there was a couple. All 4 alloys now have been completely revamped and done and are lovely as new. It's only where the quarter, where they put the tyres back on, it's more than anything else. So yeah, brilliant. And there is also one other thing I've found about the car, which it didn't have, but it now has. That is locking wheel nuts. Didn't have any. When we picked it up, there was a bag of 4 ex-old lug nuts. So there, on there now, is a full set of lockers, which, you know, we didn't think we'd get in the price. Available Car put them on. Now I'm not going to say they're going to do this with every car, so don't think this is setting precedence here, folks. It's just that what we got and what we found that they did. So let's have a quick look at the car. Okay, we ended up with 2 keys, one in an official first edition case with keyring, very heavy. This is the lighter one, so we've got 2 of these, which is great. I always like 2 keys with a car. So let's just get in. Now there's 2 ways of getting in. You can either press obviously the open button, or you can just walk up. So I won't use this. Let's just walk up and I'll show you the animation you get on the screen. So as soon as you come up to the door, it's got these sensors. Okay, put your hand in there, look, opens it up, grab in with, don't forget, the unit in my pocket. Rather nice, isn't it, when you get in? Koi fish in your car. So there you go. That's the first thing you see when you get in the Ora, and then it will automatically turn to navigation. Navigation is not bad at all on this. We tried it yesterday. Very good for, you know, the value of the car. Couldn't knock it. Oh, this is, let me just load it up a bit more. There you go. Oh, this is quite, you know, touchy-footy. It's not bad at all. I've seen a lot worse. There's a real tiny little glitch, but I tell you what, for what it is, you know, for the price of the car, that's pretty good. I've seen a lot worse than that. In fact, Volkswagens were worse than that when they first came out on their ID3. So we'll move on. This is the basic interior as I sit in the driver's seat. All these are, they're not, you know, haptic. You do actually have to literally press them. That obviously is the volume, as you can see, going up and down there. Look. Yeah, there's a lot to it. I don't know really where to start. Like I say, don't mind the shape and size of the steering wheel. Kind of suits it. I'd love to know why Great Wall Motors went for this emblem as their Ora. It's like an exclamation mark. Oh, you know, it is what it is. Here's the car, exclamation mark. I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. Now, with any first edition, you do get this badge here. They are kind of plopped on. So I've seen some that are in the middle. I've seen some to the side. Anyway, that's the first edition. That just means you get this lovely interior colour with pleated leather seat. Well, not leather, it's faux leather seats. Very nice to the touch, you know, and these are absolutely mint. There is not a sausage wrong with this car on the inside. As you can well see, everything is as it is, proper as it should be, and, you know, not messed with. The lady who had it before obviously cared about the interior, not so much about the rear brakes, but hey-ho. We'll check the rear out in just a moment. Let's stay in the front for now. So, front. Typical glove box, and it's a decent size actually, that, for a small car. I'm not going to say small car all the time, because this is not as small as, you know, people think they are. This is the size of this car is, if I was going to put it into a bracket, I'd put it between a Polo and a Golf. Does that make sense? Not quite as big as a Volkswagen Golf or an ID3 or whatever, but it's not as small, you know, as you normally class a small car as. It's a very weird little sector, this. It's like an in-between car. So, staying with the interior, let's just get this bit of the infotainment side out first. Press home and it will go to either your sat-nav or it can go to this. This has got routers.com as standard. Deezer, but you have to sign up for that. I'm not going to bother. Simply do this to get to local radio. It says no stations found there. I locked a few in yesterday, obviously didn't save them. On FM, again, it's the same. There you go. I've not done anything with that yet, so let's move off that. Onto the app side. I'll just turn this down. You can actually, if you press this button here, shut it all off. Okay, this app button here will take you to a different screen to do your phone, which, you know, I've got the wife's set up for this for obvious reasons. Let's go back. Vehicle settings. This will allow you to do all the unlocking and the side mirrors. And when we got it, we found that the previous owner hadn't put it in auto fold on the mirrors, which we couldn't understand. Why would you not do that? Because unless you want them smashed off on the road. So that's something we've done. So all this is very, you know, easy. It works pretty well. Lighting, for example. Again, you can do your delay and all that. It's got some real nice bits. Driving, this is where it all matters. Energy, obviously it's on stronger, but I must admit the regen is not fantastic. It's not one of those cars you go in and you think, whoa, blimey, this is slowing you down to get to that T-junction. No, you have to get used to it. The Genesis has 3 times the regen over this, I've got to say that, but we're looking at a different, I'm going to say it, premium car. So let's move on. Next one, system settings. Again, all in there, your Bluetooth and everything else, and blah blah blah, and how you put it to your phone. I'm not going to go into massive details. Yeah, it has got 4G, which you can see there. So it has got Wi-Fi in the vehicle. You can do all your navigation settings, your speech, your multimedia, and all the rest of it here. And again, let's go back. Skill tree. Right, okay. This is a bit of a thing where if you want to go into something, and you can find it here, look, it will take you straight to the radio, for example, and tell you what it all does. Bluetooth. It just tells you what everything does around there. So I don't know why they called it skill tree. I haven't put this on. It's called auto learn. I have no idea what that's going to do. Whatever. I think it's only because it's trying to tell me I've only discovered 10% of what's available in the car. Well, okay, well, what we'll do then, okay, all points in the function tree will be expanded after opening. Do you want this to open? Confirm. Let's go back. Power assisted. This obviously tells you where you are battery wise. I did put it on charge last night. Charges at around 80 kilowatt is the quickest speed. It does say 100 on Auto Trader website and everything else, but no, it is 80. So it's now at 99%. It's near enough full. I've done this to give it a full charge because as from tomorrow, folks, I am in dock, major knee operation, a knee exchange as I call it. Anyway, that's going to be painful. I'm not looking forward to that. Charging management. This allows you to, set it to 100%, 90, 80. I do 100% on every car I own, no matter what the manufacturers tell me now, because I feel this 20 to 80 is now a load of bull. Would have been great years ago when these cars first come out, but the management system on these now, the BMS, doesn't allow for that much difference over a 5-year period that you're going to own the car. So 100% to me every time I charge it. If I'm at home, if I'm on a charger, public, obviously I only put in what I need. Anyway, let's move on. Gives you some driving tips here, how to be more, efficient, whatever. Take the notes of those. Again, back to power flow. Again, do that. My account. I'm trying to set this up now. Here's me and the lady wife there. I'm going through a bit of a with that to try and set it up with the app. You can download an app. It's not great, but you can, precondition your battery, and you can start the car before you get in it and all the rest of it. So I'm trying to do that. So bear with me on that. And if I get around it, I'll do that as a little short maybe later. I'd be here all day if I showed you everything that was happening with this. So I'm not going to. So that's the basics of that. If you go and press the car button, this will take you into even more settings. Parking, this is clever. This is pretty good. This is how you can set the 2D and 3D. Put in 3D and do this, look. Tell you what, how many cars do you know at this kind of value, at this kind of money, can you do that with? Come on. And that is pretty sharp. That is outside my house. To bring it around to the front now, I can see my car there, look. That's next doors. We'll just put it around again. There's my Genesis on the left-hand side. And that's a visitor's car. So, yeah, pretty sharp that, and pretty damn good for this value at this, kind of premium or non-premium rate. So really good. Cameras are pretty damn good. Anyway, let's move off this screen. I've spent too much time. Let's go over to this one. Just before I do, just say that these controls here on the left, which is clever, control everything on that left screen. These controls on the right do everything on the right screen. So, wow, someone's actually made a bit of sense there. It will tell me my door's open and everything else. Yeah, you can see that. There is something that I don't like about this vehicle straight away, especially this front screen. The fonts and these little things here are not great. They should have made them larger. And I'm really hoping for an over-the-air update from Great Wall Motors, because it can do that, to make these fonts bigger. I'm not so bothered about the speed, because you can...
The key is in car.
Yes, the key is in car. It's in my pocket, love. Jeez, you'll get that all the time. So yeah, let's just show you what it does when you put it into drive. And this is very simple. Again, rotational knob. You can hear that as soon as I put my foot on the brake. So foot on the brake, straight into drive. So we're now in drive, D for drive. There it is at the top there. Look, again, small fonts. If you've got great eyes, there's no bother, but my eyes ain't great, but hey, they are what they are. So it's in D, R for reverse. Cameras will come on, and then simply when you want to stop the vehicle and make sure you're okay, press it, it goes off. Now, there is also a row of buttons down the bottom here, which can actually turn the vehicle off. If you're in the vehicle and you don't want to be having all this on and using everything, instead of just, you know, being there with it all on, and you want to sit in it for a bit while you're waiting for somebody, you can just press this button here. And if you just press that one single button, turns everything off. Okay, now it gives you this lovely start-stop button here, but that doesn't do anything. You can't turn it back on with that. Don't think you can. You have to put your foot on the brake, okay, and then it will start up. So the start-stop button is, yeah, it don't do anything. So yeah, that's the basics of the two screens. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this side. It has got some excellent voice controls. Hello, Ora.
What's up?
Open my window.
Opening.
It even knows I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and it's opened the driver's window. So I'll say it again. Hello, Ora.
Yes, I'm here.
Close my window.
Closing driver area.
Now, just to show that it's even better than that, watch. Hello, Ora.
I'm listening. I'm still here.
Open all windows.
All right.
Ooh.
Opening.
All four have opened. Hello, Ora.
I'm listening.
Close all four windows.
All right. Closed.
Now, when I tell you how much I paid for this car, and to give you some more details, you'll be amazed because of the tech it's got. It kind of puts other cars to shame of the same age. And the warranty will stun you as well. Now, before I move out of the cab, you've got USBs obviously at the bottom here. 12-volt socket, which is going to be very interesting to use because I want to put the wife's dash cam, which is going on the front here, up here to that. So I'm going to do that later on. All these vents, by the way, are movable and, you know, positionable. So that's good. And they do feel rather nice, you know, quite heavy. They're not loose and horrible. They are quite nice. So they will last a long time, which again is great. Very easy to use. Obviously, I think they've took this off the Mini, which whatever, I'm not a Mini fan, but that is your, and it all lights up, rear heated window, front. There you go. You can hear it come on straight away. That in turn brings your aircon on if need be. If you've got your setting to a lower setting here. And then this one here is a simple on-off for everything to do with your heating. So if you don't want any heating on whatsoever, and you want to save a bit of power, range should I say, have that off. So that's a useful little thing. And again, I'll just turn these off. Again, they are really nice to touch and feel. You know, that they are there, they're solid, they're straight the way, they're instant, and they feel real nice. So yeah, I mean, all right, these are a bit cheaper, but them down there, great, no problem. Before I go, it has got, obviously, let me just turn the wheel there. It's got auto lights as standard. You've got your distance setting here for your cruise control, and then on this side you've got auto wipers. On the doors themselves, on this side, you've got full, for both sides, both mirrors you can adjust. You've got 4 window switches. So again, nice little finish, you know, not bad. Bit of hard plastics down the bottom, but I've always said this about electric cars, on most cars, not just EVs. Once you get to there, the rest is plastic. They've got to keep the cost down. So yeah, overall, very nice interior. Can't knock it. See that thing there? Yeah, some people will get annoyed by that. As I'm going along, or as my wife is going along, if she yawns 2 or 3 times within a minute, it will come on the dash saying, would you like to take a break? That kind of thing. It will alert you that you may be tired to drive. If you are going along and you are driving the thing, and I might take you down the road in a minute just to explain and show you this, it is very sensitive on being in the middle of the road. And if that, for example, again, is looking at your eyes all the time and your face, so it's biometrics. Now, there's probably a guy in China looking at me, so hello, how you doing, mate? Hello. I don't give a monkeys. Some people say that they do. Wow, why would they bother looking at good old me? Yeah, biometrics. So as you're going along, you'll find that if you take your face away from the driving position and do this for a length of time, or start looking this or start looking down here, you'll find that that will again alert you on the screen, and you know, by word, you will hear it by sound. So yeah, that's going to annoy a few people who buy these cars, but I think it's all part and parcel of the very, very good safety features this thing's got. The list is endless. Anyway, let's get out the front and go to the rear. Can't get in the rear door because this...
Check the key is in car.
Yes, it's out here.
Please check the key is in car.
It's not, it's with me. It's because I've got the door open.
Please check the key is in car.
When I first get in this,
Please check.
and use that instead of this. If I press this twice, it'll open all 4 doors. Press it once, it'll only open the driver's door. It's the same as that sensor. Use the sensor and it will only open the driver's door. Now, to turn this off, all I have to do is that. Didn't even touch this at all, just the sensor behind here. There I go, it worked again, look. So I'm going to just touch that sensor and it will lock it all. There you go. Anyway, let's get in the back. So as you can see, the back is as nice as the front. Absolutely mint. All like pleated and lovely. The stitching's excellent. You know, this is... I'm sorry, but anyone calling Chinese cars don't just know what they're talking about. This finish in here is as good, and I hate to say it, it's nearly as good as that £64,000 car out there on the interior. Now, it's not anywhere near as quiet when you're driving, obviously, but the finish and, you know, and the way that it's all been put together, it's very nice. You have got a USB in the rear, of course, pleats in the back of the pockets, and these all fall down 60. Sorry, it looks, yeah, 60. I'm going to say 60/40. So yeah, that's the rear done. So yeah, nice place to be. And let me just show you the headroom in here. I've got that set to drive, okay? So if I've got that set to drive, I can put my feet underneath quite successfully. I've got plenty of knee room, and if I just spin you around, headroom, look at that. Loads. Very spacious in the rear of this car. Let me shut the door. And as you can see, it's nice and bright. This is not the brightest day. It's quite dull outside, actually. But in here, yeah, it's a nice place to be. I wouldn't mind being in this on a long journey at all as a rear passenger. Very pleasant. There are a lot more cars in this sector and at this price range and more expensive, with nowhere near the room this has got in the back. Could you fit 3 people in? This belt's for 3. I think you could. 3 adults might be a bit, you know, tight on a long journey, but 4 people in this car, I'm not saying you're travelling in luxury, but yeah, pretty damn good. Forgot to mention, above front, you have actually got a sunglasses compartment thing. You bring it down, let me show you the centre console from here. Again, it's all automatic brakes. Again, something else I forgot to mention, although it has got this here. If you're on a bit of an incline for a long time, you can press that, and it's like automatic brake release. So you're not messing about when you touch it again, but that will lock your brakes on, say, a real steep hill or something, if you're in traffic, you know, save you messing about, keeping your foot on the brake or being overcautious. So just another thing. It did come with first edition mats. You can just see the first written on there, look. So yeah, still got the first edition mats, and that's how it looks from here into the front. Now let's have a look at one of its small downfalls. Now this can open from inside. It's not automatic, but you can open that from the inside. This is where it fails a tiny bit. You've got a fair bit of a drop off there, look, as you can see, and it's because these are molded this way as well. You do lose a bit of space. That just flops up out of the way. Don't even know why they bothered with that. Seats go down flat, obviously, but you know, this again, plenty of space for probably one large suitcase and a small one on top, a couple of hand baggage, and on a daily basis or a weekly basis to go shopping, plenty of space in there. But I'll put it up on the screen there, the literage capacity of the trunk. that's that side of it. Tiny bit of a negative, and underneath you got a bit of space for your cable, first aid kit, and whatever else you need if you break down or get a flat. So yeah, at least they're out of the way. Did come with a granny charger as well, brand new, never used. Like I say, this is not automatic, but it is on the 25 spec, not on this one. Alloy wheels, it's based on 18-inch alloy wheels. Nice white top, like they used to do with minis. You can get that in black as well, but I prefer the white up against this colour. Now let me show you these lights here, what they do front and rear. Again, it's a little ditty that you get with this vehicle at this price range. Let me show you. Okay, we'll start with the rear lights first. All I'm going to do is, as if I was opening the car, there you go, a rear brake dance on the LEDs. Yeah, okay, here we go. So you're getting in the car, they go round, they dance, and in the indicators. It's a good thing, it shows that everything's still working. So let me just lock that. When you lock it, you get the big amber turn signals, which are huge on the front of this. Very bright, real good lights. I had them on last night for the first time. I'll just show you that again, close up to one of the lights. Here we go, let me just open it again. This is the same on both sides. Something different yet again, from what is called the Funky Cat or the Good Cat outside the UK. Now, the first 50 of these that came across were badged as Funky Cat. I've not seen any with the badge on, to be honest. They've all had the same. They all just said Ora and GWM Great Wall Motors at the bottom. Certain countries are called the Good Cat. Don't ask why, I have no idea. But I do believe it might have affected sales when they first came in. So let's get back in because it's a bit cool. My knee's hurting today. And just to put you in the picture, the last day of having a normal knee, I'm going to have a big scar from here all the way down to about there and be in pain for the next 4 to 5 weeks. Lovely. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get this door shut. Again, listen. Real solid smash of the door. Boom. Well, there's the reversing lights. Very bright LEDs if you get near them. But anyway. I'm getting in. Well, here we are driving the thing. I've not got my belt on, so that's number one to learn, that if you don't have your belt on, folks, you're going to get a beeping. Very quiet inside the cab for a car of this price, obviously. Obviously not as quiet as the Genesis. It's a different thing. But as you can see, sat-nav's on. I know that you'll see colour differences in this because of the flow rate of picture. And you can see speed limits on there. And you can see it quite well. It's about the same size as the Tesla was, to be fair. And again, it's in D for drive, obviously. So all pretty normal stuff. The indicators are very touchy. They don't clip or click. You just touch them on the arm, and they're very loud, so you know they're on. The car will crawl forward if you take your foot off the brakes. This is something else that Deborah's had to get used to. Some say that the clicky click clip clock clip is very loud, but I'd sooner know that it's actually on turn signal, especially with this stalk the way it is, because like I say, when you press it down or up, it isn't like click and click back up. It's on a sensor, a little tiny electronic sensor. We haven't set it up yet for speed limit warnings, I don't think. This road is notorious for speed cameras. This is called the Alamos Road here in Loughborough. And there's always, or I say always, it's very notorious for a 30 mile an hour camera to be down here. We've not tried this. We're now doing 29. I can't see any cameras down at the moment, but it makes you wonder if it's set to beep or whatever after 30 mile an hour. I did try setting it up yesterday. I might have to have a look at that, but it can do that, and it picks up the speed limit camera, the speed signs, 30, 40, 50 on the side of the road.
It's not showing any.
No, it's not showing any at the moment, is it, on the dash? I don't know why, but yeah, we might try that on a bit of a quicker road. Okay, I've just had a play with certain things because we've noted that when Deborah's driving it, although she's probably a better driver than me for keeping it in the middle, the white lane assist noise isn't working. Well, I had it on low volume, so I've just turned that up, so we're going to have a go now on the way back and see if it picks up any beeps when she gets near a white line. Right, let's see if it makes the noise now when she goes near a white line. You'll feel the steering wheel actually pull you back when you do, actually. Got no behind you, no, just go to that one. Pulled you back? Yeah, you felt it. Yeah, it's not severe, it just kind of like, hey, whoa, you shouldn't be there, just knocks you back, yeah, saying what you're doing.
Could you not indicate to pull out?
Yeah, exactly, if you're indicating it wouldn't do that. Yeah, put the turn signals on. So that shows that works, she's good. I get some facts and figures now for you. This brand new, depending on where you bought it from, I'm going to say 33k. When this first hit the UK in concept format, Great Wall Motors was saying that they could possibly get it across here, sell it as a first edition like this for 25,000. That never ever happened because I think they realised by the time that they evaluated all these extras and put all this in, even in for a China car, it made it a bit more expensive. Plus the taxes, plus the import charges and everything else at that time, 2 years ago. This car is exactly 2 years and 3 weeks old. Let's say it's 2 years old, just. Right. This car, at that price range, came with a 5-year vehicle warranty. Now, that's standard. 5 years, people, for the whole vehicle. Not including, wear and tear, but everything that could go wrong. The electric system, anything with the car. Steering, you name it, they would put right. Which I find brilliant at this price point and for what you get for your money. This was a fraction under 12k used. Now, I want you to comment below, because if you can tell me one other car that you can get with this kind of build quality, an exceptional interior, okay, all the safety equipment this has got, and it's got a lot, trust me. So you've got the range, the spec of this thing, which is enormous, all the safety features, the warranty, and I've walked away with just under a 3-year warranty on this for under 12k. 11,000 miles on the clock. So the warranty is good for 100,000 miles or first 5 years. The battery warranty goes to the normal 8 with your electric motors. So comment below if you can name one car in the EV sector for under 12k that can give you all this and get 5 adults in it, and yeah, I can't think of one. I can't think of one with this kind of spec. If you can, comment. How would you feel about buying one brand new? Would you buy a Chinese car brand new? And if you have done, at your own cash, how do you feel a year down the road or 6 months down the road? Do you feel that you got the quality that was promised? Do you feel that you have matched legacy car owners in the finish and everything else? Because this does, 100%. I can sit in any Stellantis car and have wobbly switches or bad trim and all the rest of it, and as much plastic as this has got. But yeah, 2-year-old, come on, it is what it is. I'm not going to sing praises of joy over it, because it's going to have its issues. There's no two ways about it, and there's a few things already that I'm thinking, okay, they could have done better there. Now, just to come towards the end of this little review I'm doing for this, I will do another one when I'm back on song and this knee is repaired. Allow me nearly maybe 2 months down the road, and I will do an owner's review of this thing and tell you then how I feel. Because the idea of buying this for the wife was that she wouldn't drive the Genesis. Too big, too much money. Even now, at this 12k barrier, she didn't want to pay that for a car. But anyway, I've had me saying, so she's happy now. So
this is what she's got. Live with it. A couple of things that I've found already, and that is that, like I say, I feel that the icons on the screens are a bit small. Not all of them, just some of them. I'll get used to that. The second thing is, I find it very surprising how the rear brakes needed repairing for a vehicle with only 11,400 miles on the clock, especially an EV. That is very, very rare. So that might be one of its weaknesses. You know, it's braking. Does it use the rear brakes a lot more than the front? I don't know. Has it been because the rear brakes have been sticking on and the lady who owned it wasn't really sure why, or it was even happening? I don't know. Anyway, that's it. It was just a quick review just to show you what we've bought as our second car, the Ora Funky Cat. I'm out of here. I've had enough. I'm going to get myself a coffee. Catch you all later. Subscribe. Nearly forgot. Bye.